To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and thank you for joining me in my world of wonder. Today, I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Adriana.
Hi.
And we wanted to go down our list today of our favorite rides in all 6 domestic theme parks, not the water parks, because we've only ever been to one of them. So we didn't want to go too far into a list on that when we've only ridden like 5 different things in there. And it was all in one park. But before we get to that, I wanted to share a new segment, if you will, called the Weekly Fun Fact. And today it's pertaining specifically to me, I guess you could say. I honestly forgot that I was doing this until I opened the notes for the show today. So I'm pulling it up out of nowhere right now because I forgot to write one. But it is that I have been making YouTube videos for over 10 years.
Wow.
We're probably pushing actually closer to 13.
That's a long time.
Yeah, about 13 years. Next year it'll be 13. But that's my weekly
Congratulations.
Fun fact, so thank you. And here we are, starting a whole new adventure on it. So, and I'm thankful for my beautiful wife supporting me and
so sweet.
All of it. We've known each other for...
He's saying this just because we're on the podcast.
We've known each other for 10 of those 13 years. Actually 11 now.
Mm-hmm.
11 of those 13 years. And it's been amazing. So, but she's supported me through every stupid thing I've done and every awesome thing I've done. So thank you.
Of course, I'm gonna try.
So we're basically just going to go back and forth, sharing. We're going to start in my mind chronologically. It's not in order of the park's opening. It's my mindset. It's, I don't know how to explain what order we're going in, but we're starting with Disney World parks and then we'll go down to Disneyland parks after that. But we're just going to go back and forth and kind of talk about why we picked that ride over other rides. So without any further ado, I will let you begin with your first pick.
Okay, so...
We're starting in Magic Kingdom.
Yes, my first pick in Magic Kingdom is Splash Mountain. I really enjoyed that ride. It was, I think, one of the first rides we rode on.
It was definitely early in that day.
Yeah, and so it was my first time ever in Disney World, so it was in the middle of July, like end of July, middle of July, so it was hot and I really liked the splash at the end because it was very hot and humid and sticky and it just felt nice and it was fun. It was just a really fun roller coaster ride. It was good. It was good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But that actually probably should have been the fun fact for today's podcast, is that we just watched Princess and the Frog together for the first time ever 2 nights ago.
Yes.
So
and it was a good movie. I liked it.
It was a good movie. It's definitely been slept on. It's one of those movies that, like, I don't know, there's several in the Disney arsenal that I've never seen before and I don't know why. Like, we just watched Frozen 2 for the first time like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of that ride.
Will it still, do you think it'll still be the same design, or?
I mean, like, the theming is going to be different, but I'm 99% sure that the track is going to be exactly the same. Okay. I don't remember seeing or hearing anything specifically, but
I'm glad I got to ride Splash Mountain before it went away.
I wish I had gotten to ride Splash Mountain in Disneyland before it closed, but oh well. It's basically the same thing, I think. It's just like a narrower car, but nice.
Yeah. What about you?
My first pick for Magic Kingdom, and it was a hard choice. For those of you who listened to last week's podcast, you know that I was a Disney World child. I went several times when I was growing up. I went several times in my adult life. So Magic Kingdom is like my first park love, I guess you could say, because I never went to any theme parks before. Magic Kingdom was the first theme park I'd ever set foot in. So it was hard to pick just one favorite, but I have to go with a classic but a fantastic Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And I know that was close on your list. It was right there between the two for you. Mm-hmm. I guess the reason that I picked it over everything else is because every time I've ever been to Walt Disney World and I've gone to Magic Kingdom, that is one of only a few rides that is on the absolutely must ride this list, right? Okay. Unless it's being refurbished, I go on it. Now, Haunted Mansion as of late has been right up there next to it, in my opinion. Especially after we finally went and saw the Haunted Mansion movie last week.
Especially after seeing the movie, I was like, oh wait.
I love the ride.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm really glad we went on it. And see, that was one of those things when we went to Disneyland, that was on my list of like, okay, this is one of those rides that exists in both parks. I have to ride it here too, because it's the same, but it's different, but it's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean won out for me, and Magic Kingdom, just because I think it has some of the oldest memories for me in Disney World, and the smell, anytime I smell anything similar to it, I miss Disney World again. Which, I mean, I constantly miss Disney World, so it's not hard to do, but
the animatronics are cool too in that, with the,
yeah.
But cool.
Excellent. So now we're going to move down. We're going through Disney World, and we're going in order of the park's opening, and we'll do the same thing when we get to Disneyland, but Disney World first.
Okay. So my second one?
Yes.
My second one in Epcot is the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And hearing your podcast from last time you came up, we're like,
I liked
it's all right.
It just wasn't...
It's just a lot of video, which I totally agree with. But, I mean, I liked it. It was cute. I liked the whole idea of, being, like, at the point of view of a rat or mouse,
Yeah.
And everything being huge, and I do wish there were more like sets, like physical sets in it, but also it was the first one that popped in my head. So.
What was the runner-up for you in Epcot? What was close second?
I think it was Soarin'. Yeah, Soarin'.
I'm going to tell you why Soarin' didn't hit my list, because, spoiler, it didn't. The reason it didn't get my list as my favorite is because I really like Soarin' Around the World. It's fun. It was enjoyable. But I have a big hole in my heart from when they closed Soarin' over California, which was the original version of the ride. And
they had it in Disney World?
Yeah. Okay. It was in Disney World and in California Adventure. And it was Soarin' over California, and it was... I loved that. I don't know. I think the orange groves, because you probably didn't even get to ride it. So they're like, when you ride Soarin' Around the World, you smell the different places you're at. It was like that, but I felt like the scents were more embedded in my memory, I guess. Where like I distinctly remember smelling the orange groves and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I don't distinctly remember smelling Fiji, on Soarin' Around the World. It's like the scents they don't stick as much, I guess.
Sense.
But I also I don't know. I was the closest I had ever gotten at that time to visiting California, and I was like, this is close enough.
You're like, I'm good. I have to travel to California now just because of the Soarin', right?
Exactly. But... Funny. I miss the original, and if it was still the original, or I don't know, I think I would like it better if it was the original. I think the new one is fun too, but I just have a special place in my heart for the new one. So on that note, I will go to my pick for my favorite ride in Epcot, which is going to start a long line of a very obvious theme for me here in about 12 seconds. But Epcot, I picked Mission Space.
Which one is that one again?
That's the one that you go to Mars. Like you get in the thing and it spins you around, and it's like when you feel that pressure on your chest.
Claustrophobia.
It's like super close. Yeah.
I don't really like that one.
I love that ride because I've always been a space nerd, I guess you could say. I love space travel. I loved watching rockets launched when we lived down there. We got to see the space shuttle. We got to see the space shuttle's final launch ever when I lived down there. And when we went on our honeymoon, actually, I think it was the 2 nights before our wedding, and then the second night of our honeymoon, or the first night of our honeymoon, I forget. Mm-hmm. We got to watch rockets launch. Yeah, I mean, we weren't there, but
yeah, space stuff fascinates me too. It's just I don't know, the idea of I know that's like the risk is very low, but like still the risk just like terrifies me, and like accidents happen and stuff, and like with ship launches and whatnot. But Yeah, I don't know. We went on the green one. There's like a green one and a...
Did we not go on both?
No, because I was
too
much
scared.
of chicken to go on the other one.
I guess specifically my list is the orange side. I like both sides. Both sides are really cool. But the orange side is definitely like, I love it. It's the closest I'll get to going to space unless I get really lucky.
Unless somehow in the future we're able to go to Mars
which would be kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it sounds like right now, according to Elon Musk, anyone who's riding, like the first colonizers of Mars, it's like a one-way trip.
Yeah.
Like you're moving to Mars, and you're never coming back to Earth, basically. So that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
I know. They're even saying like you can like visit, right?
Yeah.
See, like you don't even have to.
That's what I'd be down for.
Be trained, really. I mean, I guess maybe me do, but I don't know.
I mean, to an extent. I mean, probably not, honestly, because that's how airline travel was for long. Like people flying, like you couldn't be in a plane unless you knew how to fly it. And nowadays, like anyone can get on a plane. Dogs can get on a plane.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
That's where Elon Musk is trying to take space travel, is to a point where you can just literally get on a plane.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Well, cool.
Yeah. But yeah. So, big space nerd. That ride has always been high on my list ever since I was a kid.
I just felt like I was in a claustrophobic box. But it's okay. I mean, I like it. They do make it feel...
It's
they
crazy.
Make it feel like you're
even the green ride
ship.
Honestly does feel pretty legit. The orange ride is way more intense because you feel the pressure really hard on your chest. Like you're actually pulling like 4 or 5 G's, I think. Yeah. It's pretty intense. I don't know if it's that many G's, but it feels like it. I don't know.
Nice.
Anywho, let's go ahead and jump down to
my third pick?
Hollywood Studios, I think is where we're at. Yeah.
Hollywood Studios. So I picked Tower of Terror for that one. That was the first one we rode in Hollywood Studios.
I think it was the first ride we rode.
Yeah.
It
was the very first ride we rode.
I think we checked into our hotel at 7 a.m. and we left our bags at Bell Services and we got on a bus and we went to Hollywood Studios and we beelined it for Tower of Terror. And
I was honestly terrified at first because I was kind of like, I just want to get this out of the way. Like, let's just do it because I know no one's going to make me anyway.
Yeah,
and
I would have.
Yeah, and so I wanted to just get it out of the way, and it surprised me. I was like, wow, that was a really fun ride. Like, yeah. I liked the whole, just everything, even the line itself, like, it's just, they entertain you with just, I mean, like, did we have the lightning lane? No.
Oh. That's why we went on it first, because I didn't get a lightning lane for it. Okay.
But yeah, the ride it didn't feel too long. Well, obviously, since we went for, at 7 a.m. But then, like, the queues, right? That's the word? Queue? Yep. Yeah, like, it was cool. And
yeah, it's an immersive queue.
And, like, spooky. And it's way different than Disneyland. And when we went in the one in Disneyland, the
Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Yeah, completely different. Like, I didn't like that one. It was way more intense in Disneyland. And in Disney World... No. No, you're good. They just make, I don't know, at least to me, that's my point of view and my opinion on it, is just Disney World had less intense drops, and maybe like they would like drop and then go back up and then maybe like go to like, I don't know, maybe it felt like we were like going into like the sides but like we're I don't know happen. But like there was just like more like, okay, like a stopping point, and there was like a scene happening, and then we go up and then it was, I guess, maybe more predictable when the drops were gonna be, and I guess I felt like it was less, like I said, just less intense. But interesting. Okay. But the one in Disneyland I didn't like, which is funny. My thing with the one in Disneyland, I feel like my opinion of it was tainted because we had a lightning lane for it. And it still was like an hour and a half before we actually got on. And that's true. I think being not bored in the line, but like when you're standing in the queue for that long, nothing is surprising anymore. You kind of get used to everything, and I don't know. But we feel like a kind of wrong mindset going. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Negative mindset. We kind of already had a poor opinion of it, and then we went on it, and it was like not good.
So I'm wondering if that tainted my opinion.
Maybe.
And the only way to find out if it did is to go on it again.
And
to go on it again, we have to go back to California. So soon. But that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Tower of Terror has always been high on my list. There's only one reason it didn't make the top of my list. Actually, there's 3 reasons it didn't make the top of my list. But because my top list in Hollywood studios is Star Tours: The Adventure Continues, which is the second iteration of Star Tours. It's a more randomized experience. I think the reason that I like it more than the previous version, because the last version was fun, the one that was just originally Star Tours. The Adventure Continues has like different scenes you can get. You can have Darth Vader stop you at the beginning, and then you end up going to Tatooine, and then you end up on
I like
Endor.
that about the ride, is that like every time you go, it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah,
whole different.
I don't think I've ever had the exact same experience twice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Which is kind of the idea, but if I went a lot more often, I'm sure I would eventually.
And you go a lot too. You go a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we went to Disney World, we would go on.
We went on it 3 or 4 times, and that's another reason that it's on my number 1 list, is because it's like there's barely any wait, even when some of the other rides in the park were like 45, 50, 60 minute waits. Like Star Tours is always too, like 5 to 10 minutes,
which is weird, but I mean,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no complaining.
But so is that tied with the fact that I'm a huge Star Wars nerd? So if Star Tours and Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run wasn't in the park, then Tower of Terror might have made it on top of my list.
Nice. I don't know. I like that ride too. I just, for some reason, and this is just me, I get a little bit, I get motion sickness for some reason. And it's weird because, I mean, when we did, Mission Space, like I didn't feel weird.
I think that is because
maybe it's the 3D glasses or something.
Well, that might be it, because I know a lot of people have issues with 3D glasses. So it could be that. It could also just be the fact that when you're on Mission Space, it's a lot more immersive, where like you kind of feel like, hey, I might actually be in a spaceship. Yeah. But in Star Tours, you're kind of very aware of your surroundings, and you're kind of like not super convinced, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know that like my dad gets motion sick on Soarin' if he can see the edge of the screen.
Interesting.
Because like it's a dome, so like you go into the screen. Yeah. And if he can see the edge of it, then like there's a fixed point. Right. That like his eyes can't focus right, and he gets sick.
Yeah, I think that's what happens to me then.
Maybe so, because you can see like all the other people and like see 3PO and stuff. Maybe that doesn't help you. Yeah. Fair enough.
But anyway.
All right.
Number 4, Animal Kingdom. In Animal Kingdom, I liked the Kilimanjaro Safari.
Yeah, Kilimanjaro Safari.
Kilimanjaro Safari. I just thought it was so cool. It just brought my inner child back to life. I was like, oh, I get to see this elephants, I get to see giraffes, and it was cool. Just seeing them, being like, yay. I'm like pointing at them. I'm like, yeah, they're so cute. Yeah. And like the tour guide is, very nice and gives lots of cool facts and everything. Yeah. And you're just along for the ride. It's good. It's a good time.
I like it because it's like, you could go to a zoo and you could see a giraffe and you could see an elephant. But it's different riding in a vehicle, especially with the giraffes.
Immersed in their environment. Yeah. And they're not in a cage.
Yeah, they can literally walk right up to you. Like, they do things to kind of make them not want to get really close to the vehicles. But when I was younger, I remember getting not stuck, but like kind of stuck on the ride for a little while because a giraffe stopped in the middle of the road and just stood there. And it was super cute, but we were like literally stuck for like 10 minutes. Oh wow. I don't remember if we took pictures. I was a young kid. Well,
like,
not young, but yeah,
I'm not moving.
Younger. Yeah.
Giraffe was like, it was just staying. That's hilarious. It was cute.
But yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah. This my pick for Animal Kingdom is probably the only cliche no one's gonna be shocked, or people are gonna be like, of course it is. I picked the Flight of Passage in the World of Pandora.
Remind me of that one again.
That's the one where you go. It's another 3D glass. It's basically the one that's like Soarin'. but you're like riding on the Banshee instead of sitting on a bench.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the reason that I like that one, and it makes the list, but Soarin' didn't make my list.
That's like the Avatar one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is because of the Banshee. The
cool.
technology that they put into it,
cool.
and the fact that when you're sitting on it, like you can feel it breathing. Honestly, I think the other thing too for me is that I've ridden it 4 or 5 times, and I don't think I've sat on them in the middle. I've sat on the sides. I feel like it's a lot harder to see the edge of the screen on that ride than it is on Soarin'. I don't know if that's just...
I think so too, yeah.
I think maybe you go deeper in the dome. The dome is bigger. I don't know what it is. But for some reason, like, it just seems way more immersive. Like, the last time we rode it on our honeymoon, I literally, like, the ride stopped and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a human. Like, it is good. I love that ride. It was tremendously fun.
It was one of the newer ones, right?
If it's not the newest ride in Animal Kingdom, it is the second newest ride. I don't remember if that one opened first or if Navi River Journey opened first.
Nice.
Or if they opened at the same time. They might have opened at the same time.
Okay.
But yes.
Nice. So now we're on Disneyland, right?
Disneyland Park. We're flying across the country.
Going to California.
Here's the thing for me. For the last 4 parks, it's been my 20 years of experience going to parks, comparing them for my personal, like, 20 years of going to Disney World, experiencing different rides and stuff. And you once when you were like 7, and then
I don't remember. I literally only remember the parade.
Yeah. And then we go to Disneyland, where you and I both experienced that park for the first time together. So this is like a whole different, like, I don't have 20 years of experience in this park to judge things. I have
you're like
2 days, because that's basically we spent 2 days there.
Yeah.
I think we went there all 3 days, didn't we? Because I forced you to go back over to Batu a couple more times.
Oh yeah. So my pick for Disneyland was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's one of the newer rides that came out in Disney World.
Yeah, it came out in Disney World first.
But it's also new in Disneyland too, right?
It's newer in Disneyland. It opened only a couple months before we went. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I feel like it's like identical. I feel like it's like legit.
The ride itself is like as close to identical as it can get without being straight up copied.
Yeah.
I think there were some slight differences with the sets. It felt like to me anyway, but that's maybe not. The queue, on the other hand.
The queue is the same.
No.
Oh, it's not?
It's way different. The queue in Disneyland, in my opinion, is significantly better than the one in Disney World.
Wait, what's different about it?
Well, the one in Disney World, I honestly can't even remember exactly what it is. But I think you walk past some costumes or Mickey stuff, a little bit of Mickey stuff here and there. I don't remember the queue for it that much. But I know it's completely different because...
Oh, yes, I remember now.
At Disneyland... You're like you go through like the Museum of Mickey, where it shows you like a bunch of different artifacts from the cartoons that are like cartoon artifacts, but they made them in real life.
Yes. Okay. I remember now. Yeah.
And then you go through like the movie theater with like the popcorn.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot more.
If I had to choose between the two, Disneyland's is way better just because of the queue. The ride itself is whatever.
Yeah. And you're also a history nerd in that like Disney.
I don't know if I would go as far as saying I'm a history nerd. I would like to be. I like the history. OG. Yeah, but I don't know a whole lot. And between me and Caleb's way more of he likes things the way they were.
Yeah.
I like everything because Walt said that Disneyland will never be finished. And that same principle has applied to every park that Disney has opened since then. I like that. They're never finished. They're supposed to change.
Everything changes.
Yeah. So like for me,
life changes.
I'm going on a huge tangent right now. But for me, a big thing was the Galactic Star Cruiser, which is the space hotel, the Star Wars hotel, that is closing next week. And I will never get to go on. I never got to do it. And so like it breaks my heart because I really wanted to do it.
Are you like sad? You're like upset?
But yeah. I won't get the chance unless after they close it, they do stuff to it and they bring it back in a different form than it is now.
Maybe.
I'll never get to experience it the way it is now, which makes me sad.
Yeah.
But Disney World will never be finished. So things have to change, and that's okay with me.
Yeah.
As long as whatever they replace it with is awesome too.
Yeah. Well,
if they close it and then they just abandon the property and it falls into disarray, then I'll be really mad that I didn't go on it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get to go. Maybe
do something like it. Hopefully they reopen it as something slightly different or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll reopen it as more of a hotel than like, because right now it was like a huge experience. Like you go for 2 nights and you are in Star Wars for 2 days.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make it just a Star Wars themed hotel where like you're just still a person, but everything is like themed to Star Wars.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But,
who knows?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Tangent time.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, anyways, I think my favorite part of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the part where, Daisy is like doing the dance. I don't know. I just like that 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's
fun. And that was
my favorite part of it. And then I don't know. And I just like all the animations in there. It's just it's really cute. I love the design. And you know me, I'm like I don't know. I'm obsessed with that
particular version of Mickey seems to be your
Mickey
favorite.
and Minnie. Like that design is just like they just look adorable. And I'm like Okay. But anyway, what are you saying?
I was the last thing I was gonna say about that, and then I'll move on to my pick for Disneyland. I did feel like the waltz scene on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was more jerky in Disneyland than it was in Disney World. And again, maybe that's a thing where it's just like I've been on the one in Disneyland more recently, so it's sticking in my head a little more. But it felt a lot more jerky to me from my memory. But that, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Random
little things.
Last little thing. Still does not bump it down on my list. Nice. It is still my favorite version of that ride.
Cool.
Cool. My favorite ride in Disneyland Park. What a tricky thing to do. I had a hard time with it. There's a lot of rides in Disneyland, a lot of classic rides in Disneyland. We didn't get to go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride because it was being refurbished, or for some reason it was closed when we were there. I'm pretty sure it was being refurbished.
Mr. Toad's Ride?
Exactly. Oh. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah. There's a ride in Disney World, in Disneyland, called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride that was I was going to say it was an opening day attraction, but now I can't remember for sure if it was. But it is a classic. It was definitely, if it wasn't opening day, it was there very shortly after. It was one of the first rides in Fantasyland.
Okay.
And we had it in Disney World, but it was replaced before I ever got the chance to go on it. So I was kind of looking forward to going on it when we went to Disneyland, but obviously we didn't get the chance. So I had a number. When I was writing my list out earlier today, I was like, I cannot pick. Like, I'm having such a hard time. And that's that camera dying. So give me just a couple quick moments to get that camera rolling again, and we'll be right back. Okay, cameras are back. We're good to go. I need to look into that because that's going to be a problem for a podcast. What was I saying? I was just talking about having too many to pick from, but there's a lot of rides that I love in this park. I really liked Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I think Disneyland has a better one than we do in Disney World, unfortunately.
That was the first one we rode in Disneyland, right?
No.
Oh.
No, the first one we went on in Disneyland was the Matterhorn bobsleds.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which they don't have in Disney World, and that was also up there on my list as a potential for my favorite. But made it echo in here. My Star Wars obsessed nerd won over in the end, and I chose Rise of the Resistance. Now, I'm completely expecting this to change the more we go to Disneyland and the more we spend time in that park and we experience more rides more frequently. But I think we went on. I don't know if you. Yeah, I did. We did. We went on it. I think we went on it twice.
The Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, we did. It was that ride is also on the top of my list of favorite rides. I really like it.
the only ride in Disneyland that we rode more than once.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Well, except for Star Tours. I rode Star Tours 3 times in a row. Because we rode it twice together. And then the third time she was like, nah, I'm capped. I'm done. Yeah. And I was like, well, there's a 5-minute wait. So I'm going to go on it again real quick. But Star Tours. And see, that was the thing. When I was writing the list too, I knew this was going to happen. Where my mission, or my Hollywood Studios and my Disneyland were going to be one or the other, because I love Star Tours, but I didn't want to pick Star Tours twice.
Right.
So
Rise of Resistance is good.
But I was like, honestly, like these two could flip flop in either park and it'd be fine. Yeah. You could make my Hollywood Studios pick Rise of the Resistance and my Disneyland pick
pretty similar to
Star Tours.
Like,
those two rides are like Star Tours in both parks is exactly the same ride.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, Rise of the Resistance is exactly the same in both parks. So
yeah, and I love the queue too, or like with all the stormtroopers and we're just
there, like that's so, part of the ride.
Okay, so
that one scene when you get off of the drop ship,
cool,
and there's just like
you literally feel like you're like, in the movie. You're like, oh.
The only complaint like, I have, the only complaint I have about Rise of the Resistance, that's okay, is that when I'm in Galaxy's Edge, my Star Wars persona, if you will, is an Empire supporter or a First Order supporter in the case of Batuu. And it's the only thing about the ride that I don't like is that I'm a First Order supporter, but like I have to pretend I'm a rebel in that point. I have to go in the jail cells. Like I want to explore the ship Empire with you guys. Like I want cool to be enlisted in your ranks. I want to be here for the First Order. I would like.
That'd be funny if they did like pick a side.
It would be cool. Like
have different experiences.
If they like made it so like the First Order supporters go over here and the Resistance goes over here, and then you get taken somewhere at the First Order, and then you get kidnapped.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be funny.
Or taken prisoner. I don't know. That doesn't really fit the storyline to have the Resistance take prisoners, but I just don't like it because I'm like, I want to be a First Order supporter, but like,
but I can't.
And I guess
it's a stigma.
Yeah, it's like it's not the way the ride's designed, and I'm like, I guess the idea is that I'm supposed to be a First Order spy, so I'm pretending to be Resistance, so I have to go along with all of it. Nice. And that's fine, but it's like, I want to talk to the clone or the stormtrooper over there. I want to be like, what's up, bro? I saw you at the picnic last week. How's the wife and kids, you know? Nice. But anywho, I've gone on long enough about all I'm gonna say is I love Star Wars. Yes you do. And I can't wait to do an episode that's all about Star Wars, but we'll get to that. I'm planning, just so you guys know, if anyone cares, Ahsoka, the show, we just watched episode 6 on Tuesday. Episode 7 will come out next Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday will be the final episode. So 2 weeks, 2 podcasts from now, I'm planning on doing a full review, I guess, of Ahsoka, and I'm going to bring you in on that with me because I don't know anyone else who's watched it. Ask me questions. I'll interview you, yes. Let's do it. Okay, cool. But anyway. So California Adventure, my top pick was the Incredicoaster. It was so cool. Walking into just like the California Adventure Park, and then I don't know, I just feel like it's one of the main focus for like focal points when you walk in, and then you just hear like, well, okay, I don't know. I'll go ahead, and okay. I'll get there. No, you're good. And like you just hear the ride. It's so loud. Yeah. It's just like, pew, 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 pew. Yeah. Or what's the kid's name? Dash. Yeah. You say, what did he say? He's like 3, 2, 1. Yeah. He's like 3, 2, 1, go. And then he's like, then you can hear it, and then it's just like, it sounds like he's running next to you. And it goes from 0 to like probably 60 or something. I think it's under like 60, but yeah. Or 45. It's fast. It's really fun, and there's an inversion there, and that was my one qualm with that roller coaster. What? That was my one qualm with that roller coaster. There was only one inversion. I thought there was more than one. Oh. Like, well, I was fine with just the one anyway. Fun. I mean, yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, I just
I
thought
really
there was
like-
a corkscrew in the back, but I guess not.
Yeah, I also
Oh,
just
it's
in
my first
general really like California Adventure. Like out of all the parks, I think I like California Adventure the
Me too.
most for some reason. And maybe it's just gives me like nostalgic vibes
Yeah.
or something. And
But-
like I just like the vibes and like we
Yeah.
get when we went to, I guess the first night, like the we had like the what's it called, the frozen yogurt. The frozen what's it called? Oh my god, I'm blanking on it.
That's the Abominable Snowman. Oh, the Dole Whip.
Yes, Dole Whip. Oh my god. And like it was like the sun was setting and like all the lights, pretty lights were on, and I don't know, it just felt like a carnival or something, and I just really liked it. I liked the vibes.
It's supposed to feel like a boardwalk up here.
Yeah.
Which if you grew up
I
in,
really like that.
well, you didn't grow up, but you spent time in Fremont in San Francisco. So like, and we went to Pier 39 when we went to California together. So like, it's supposed to be, I guess it's supposed to be more like the boardwalks. What's it called? What's the one? Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Okay.
Where did we go?
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Yeah. It's supposed to be like Santa Cruz.
Okay. Maybe.
Except a little bit better kept.
Yeah. What were you gonna say when I was like focal point?
I don't know.
Oh, I was like.
Oh, I was gonna say okay. So I don't think we ever went through the front gates at California Adventure.
Oh yeah, we went through
because we stayed at Pixar.
Yes, you're right.
I guess it's called Paradise Pier or
JK.
Paradise. What's it called? Paradise Pier. I can't remember the name of it. Paradise.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's Paradise Pier.
Hotel. Yeah, the Paradise Pier Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so there's this.
And we have our own. You have your own entrance into California Adventure from there. And so every time we went to California Adventure, we literally just went in that back gate. So it does drop you off straight into Pixar Pier. And so, yeah, when you walk into the park for the first time, it is like straight in front of you. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't think you can see it from the main entrance.
No, probably not.
Because you have to go around like the Grizzly River Run.
Okay.
So like I was just thinking, like, no, that's not a whoops at all. That was, I mean, it was a whoops on our experience part of it, where we chose to stay in a hotel where we had our own entrance.
But that was cool.
But the entrance was super cool because there was never a line.
Yeah.
We literally walked into the park every single time we went into it, and we went to that park every day.
Yeah, it was cool.
We went to it twice. I think on the third day I think we bounced back and forth a few times, but we stopped at the hotel in between to drop off goodies that we bought because I didn't want to carry them. Yeah, but that's a good pick. I really liked it. I wasn't disappointed that there weren't more inversions. I was just like expecting more and only got the one. And I think it's because I was classifying the Incredicoaster as like rock and roller coaster level, and it's like it's kind of not. It's a little bit more family friendly than that, where it's just the one inversion and then it was cool. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But my number one pick for California Adventure won a toss-up between Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. I enjoyed that a lot. A lot more than I feel like I should have. It's super short. It's kind of disappointing, which is probably the reason that my first pick won out. The Spider-Man ride was also another one up there on my list. I was like, why can't I think of the Web Slingers was up there because I've been a Spider-Man fan for a while, long time. I'm a Parker, so naturally, anyone named Parker that's in a movie, you're kind of there for. But in the end, Radiator Springs Racers took the top spot on my list for California Adventure. It is
that one.
I think also maybe not the only ride. No, because we rode Incredicoaster. Is one of only a few rides in California Adventure that we rode more than once.
Yes.
I don't think you rode it twice.
No, but
I ride the second time
because I just didn't want to pay another like $20 or something to ride it again.
Oh yeah, because we bought the extra lightning lanes for it. I forgot about that. That's fair.
Yeah. I liked it just riding it the first time, and it made I just
another thing.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say another thing is I feel like my list would be very different if we hadn't got Genie Plus when we went to both parks recently, or both resorts recently, because the line for Radiator Springs Racers was 130 minutes, 120 minutes, and I don't think I could. The only reason I don't think I could sit in that line that long is because it's outdoor. And that's the one thing that Disneyland kind of bums me on, is that all their queues are outside. But it's not as hot honestly. We went to Disney World in July.
It was nice weather, not humid.
Yeah, we went to Disneyland in the middle of, or at the end of June. But I would still expect it to be as hot if it was going to be hot. I don't know how much hotter.
I had to put on my sweater at night.
Yeah, it was like kind of brisk at night. But like Disney World is like, it's still 80 degrees at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever got above 80 when we were in Disneyland, which I know it gets hotter in Disneyland.
Yeah,
but,
probably in July and stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah, I liked the designs too. It looks like you're in Utah or like in a desert.
Yeah.
So
I liked that a lot.
It's fun.
It was cool to, I think, I remember seeing Cars when I was very, very young, and I grew up a NASCAR fan, so anything having to do with racing was automatically on the top of my list. It was
cool that you like fun. Race too, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're racing against someone.
I thought it was so cool to go on it and be like, I am in Cars right now. Like, you kind of forget that you're in a car and you feel like you just are the car for a minute, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one a lot, so that's why it made the top of my list. That wraps us up, I think. That's each of our favorite picks for all 6 domestic parks. Someday in the future, hopefully we can list our favorites for the other 3 parks around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
First on my list is Disneyland Paris. That's the first non-domestic park I want to go to.
That'd be so cool.
Because I want to take you to Paris, and then if we're going to be in Paris anyway, we might as well go to Disneyland. But yeah, so maybe someday, but
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with the parks we have now. I just want to go to them more often. Yeah, so coming up eventually, we're going to be doing a whole series where we rank, maybe not me and Adriana specifically, but we'll probably do one of them together, where we basically rank every ride in each park, and that will be individual videos and podcasts, not just one big one like we did with this one. We've got a lot of stuff prepped out. We
lots of ideas.
Yeah, we put out the one last week, and after I published it, I suddenly realized that I was like, man, I need to come up with more. That was the first thing that came into my mind. I've got a not big video, but an exciting episode planned with a buddy of mine. Hopefully we'll get to do that one soon.
Lots in the works.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where this podcast goes. If you guys are new here and you're just listening for the first time, make sure you follow the pod on wherever you're listening to it. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. And another one that my brother uses, I think it's called Castbox. You just download it to I don't know, if you're not listening on Castbox or podcast player, then you probably are listening on one of the other two, so I don't think I need to explain what it is, but yeah, we're on 3 different platforms right now, plus the video version of the podcast, which some of you are watching on YouTube. You can find them on YouTube by typing in the search bar at Noah Parker _channel. That'll take you to the channel, and then you can find the playlist that has previous episodes and this episode in it. You can find the podcast on Instagram at Noah Parker's World of Wonder, and you can find the YouTube channel on Instagram at Noah Parker _channel. It'll be the same as it is on YouTube. And I think that sorts us out. Is there anything you wanted to add, say to the viewers or listeners?
I think so. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you could be here. Adriana will be here a lot more. She's my wife, so when I don't have another guest, she has to. Right on. Sounds good. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast, and until next time, let the wonder take hold.